How did I meet my fiance? Well, I was walking home one random night, and I see this poor woman being cornered by a group of neo-Nazis, right? Neo-Nazis. One of the thousands of neo-Nazi gangs roaming our country, and I go over there and I go, "Hey! You get away from her!" And they said, "Yeah, what are you gonna do? We're Nazis." And I said, "You know what? And then I debated them. And then, believe it or not, I used the power of logic and reason to debate these Nazis. And I won." And she said, "Oh my God, you're so good at debating Nazis on the street." And then the Nazis said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be different now." Yeah, it was downtown St. Louis, and the Nazis go, "This is MAGA country." And I said, "Hey, you watch it. I'm gonna defeat your views with logic and reason." I know, what a hero I am. Taylor smashes Nazis with facts and logic, and upper body strength. My arguments sucked, but I was so powerful looking, these weak little Nazis were afraid of me, and everyone clapped.
You smoke menthol cigarettes?
I smoke or smoked? What's the question?
Either one, but did you prefer menthol?
Oh, always. I've never smoked regular cigarettes.
Wow, you have soul.
I've always said I'm the blackest person on this show by far. Black Daniel co-signed that the other day.
Daniel co-signed.
I have. Anyway, he was like, "You are by far the blackest person on PKA."
I'm gonna have to have words with Chocolate Thunder. We sit there and talk about the NBA for 15 minutes every hangout. He needs to reconsider.
Chocolate Thunder, I need to have words with you in regard to your.
I'm not helping my case.
Hey there, fella.
I would call it flawed rationale that somehow that Kyle outblacks me. I mean, and here is a PowerPoint I made for you.
Hey there, fella. I don't know where you get off, but unless you want there to be fisticuffs,
yeah.
You and I are going to have a bit of a row.
We're going to have a bit of a roll.
Like Daniel, I don't know if I want to keep talking NBA with you if you're not going to give me credit for being pretty black.
That's the only reason he does it. Cred.
Motherfucker, yeah. I've been to prison. I'm a felon. All right. I like smoking dope and menthol cigarettes. I like malt liquor. I like black women.
I can name the leading scorer on half of the teams.
I have N-word passes in penitentiaries. All right. You can't compete with this.
I do have an N-word pass, and it can't be revoked.
Oh, man.
It can't be revoked because I built this house. I don't have a mortgage. You can't come for me. You know?
No, it can't be revoked because he died after he made it. He can't change it.
Discreet street haggling villain. His agenda is clear.
These are sociopaths. Like you can't charm a sociopath. Like there's different levels of people in the game.
You didn't try to charm the child?
I've had poor luck in the past charming children. It never goes my way.
That's the other prison term.
That's the other prison term. I don't like talking about that one. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday or the day before yesterday on PKN. I think maybe how like as a grown man you can't have a conversation with a child anymore. That's not yours or like family. Like you can't be like in the park and a little kid comes up and like, "Hey, mister." You can't sit there and have like a conversation with them without it looking weird.
That's true.
Dude, that is true. I take it too far, but we watch this.
Unless you have kids, they're playing as well. But like you can't you shouldn't be at a park where there's kids by yourself.
So
that's where it's fun.
We have
I just like to pace. I just like to go on jogs around the jungle gym.
What? I'm doing the monkey bar too. What's the problem?
They're just nah, dog. You got to get up off the.
You're doing the monkey bars, but you're 6'2", so you're just walking under them, holding them.
Kyle's getting berated for talking to kids because he's going up to him like, "Hey, your parents are fucking sheep. Let me tell you what's really going on." Get out of here! Your parents are fucking retarded, and I'm gonna break down exactly why.
My neighbor's kids came up talking to me, and it's these two little girls who were like 7, 8 years old, and I felt so uncomfortable. Like I'm in my driveway in my car. I just pulled in, and they just come running up to me. Hey! I've never known these girls. I don't know their names. I don't know that neighbor. Like we've never spoken. We kind of wave, but like I don't know these people. And these little girls are like right up against my car, and I'm just like,
Shoo.
I don't want to do that either, because I want him to like run back, Daddy, that man did this. Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but I could just totally see him coming up and like knocking on my door an hour later, like, hey, I saw you talking to my girls. And it's like, well, yeah, I was.
But
I didn't like it though. They wanted me. That's what you don't understand.
They wanted to talk to me.
They were the aggressors. They really like me.
Sir, don't think we didn't notice you had a family-sized bag of Sour Patch Kids hanging out.
We've been watching this girl
It's
for
to
like
share.
we've been watching this girl for like 2 years now.
Now Jews go to summer camp. If you have any Jewish friends, yeah, right. But if you do, you speak to them, you'll see that they go to like probably or did as a kid or they knew Jews that went to summer camps, and they're Jewish summer camps, and like the guy cabins are here and the girl cabins are there, and like everyone's Jewish. You got to be Jewish to go. And then the counselors leave at night. They're like, we're leaving from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Don't sneak to the girls' bunk and start fucking. And then like a lot of couples that I know that are Jewish couples, like they met at camp.
So I inherited her rack and bench a while ago. But now she's
Like a
she's
4-post squat rack.
What's that?
Taylor?
Like a 4-post squat rack. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Crown.
Yeah. That's all I got.
It's the center of any good gym, according to
Is
me.
it regular Crown Royal? You got like some like honey or apple or something?
It's just regular. Literally, like I was.
Give it a little for me.
Battle mode and
Don't wait. Vaccinate. Call 247-2412.
Oh, could I beat Trump in an arm wrestling contest? I would dominate Trump in an arm wrestling contest. Not even close. How many presidents do you have to go back to get to someone that I couldn't beat in an arm wrestling contest? Trick question. I would go back in time just to thrash Washington. Actually, I wouldn't. I would let Washington beat me. He would need the confidence. He's going to be the first president, you know? Teddy Roosevelt had the old man kind of strength that he could, like, throw a sack of flour onto a baker's truck. Let me see what Teddy Roosevelt can fucking flat bench. Let's see. What's my fighting style? What's that fighting style where you summon energy orbs and Hadouken? That's what I am.
Yes. By way of the ball box.
And I'm interested in taking a look at some of the footage that...
You can trust this guy? 24/7, he's thinking about science. He cuts his own hair so he can spend more time learning about ghosts. That's dedication.
Woody, in his twilight years, has decided to start adventuring more.
That's not true. Can I interrupt there? I've
know,
been making bad decisions since I was 12.
He's going to tell you about all the adventures he's gone on throughout his whole life and how he's essentially Indiana Jones. Go.
In your head, like, teachers are always way older than you think they are. Like, I remember, like, even in, like, 3rd grade being like, oh, Miss Stevenson, she's probably, like, 50, but she was probably, like, a 25-year-old woman. But, like, adult was adult. But I remember middle school, that's, like, 13, 14-year-old girls, kind of that same age range. I remember there were, like, adults, teachers, men, who would, like, walk behind them and, like, rub their shoulders or, like, be too handsy. And it was like an understood thing where it's like, oh yeah, Mr. Smith, he's fucking weird. Like, you can see, like, girls sometimes, like, you know, like, shy away. This guy was a fucking straight up creep. And
I had a teacher.
He was probably 28, 29, 30, early 30s, doing this to 14-year-olds. And in no world were those 14-year-olds like, oh, well, you know, I'm the princess in my fantasy.
Yeah.
Like,
Taylor's
like
describing a man
movie.
who loves his job.
So I didn't see that, like the hands-on kind of creepiness, but there was my chemistry teacher. He was like a gross late 40s, early 50s, like very unattractive and overweight guy. And I don't know, he'd make comments like and jokes in class that were inappropriate for I want to say 10th grade, maybe 11th grade. But definitely not whenever you take chemistry.
Like sexual jokes about.
He said shower heads have 3 settings: low, medium, and who needs a man.
You know, he was just practicing for his.
Oh, I get it.
five.
I was slow on that one. It took me a while.
Oh!
I've said this before, but there was this fat black kid in my 7th grade, and we had this teacher and she was probably in her like early mid-20s with the biggest fucking tits, and nobody else could sell this. It was strictly Tyrese's word against anyone else, because he was the one. He would sit in the back of every class, but for that English class, he would sit right in front of her on the stool on the front row, and he would like at lunch afterward be like, "Oh, Taylor, you couldn't see? I swear I saw her pussy, man." And I'm like, "Tyrese, you did not see Mrs. Manson's pussy in English. Someone else would have seen it." He's like, "You don't even know. You're sitting in the back." And he would like always sit there every day and say it. And you know that. I mean, he was the younger person, and he was just trying to catch an eyeful, so that wasn't really inappropriate. He's a horny boy. But I do remember I had a male gym teacher who was just a grade A meat gazer. I've mentioned this too. He would he would stand in the hallway, because it was the shower here, and then there was the entrance out of the shower, exit out of the shower, and then you grab your towel that's hanging up, walk back to your locker, and dry off, put your clothes on, go to class. And there was no reason for him to be there. Like after football, when I played football, guess what the football coach did? He went into his office away from everyone showering, and if he came out, he had like a clipboard and was like, "Hey guys, it's like 3 minutes until your next class. Just need to give you." That's what like the normal people did. This guy he wouldn't stay in his office. This other guy, he would lean against the wall adjacent to the towel racks, and he would watch us dry off. He would watch us dry off, and you would catch him meat gazing, and he would do it.
The villains themselves were ultimately responsible for much of the popularity.
Stop relaxing.
Nothing comes between me and my masters.
What is it, Father?
These footprints were made by the Flying Monkey Men.
Your contributions now to famine caused by...
Capitalism. That's right, Nick. Capitalism. You little snickle flip.
I love this stuff. Yeah.
Expires.
The tapes. Okay, I want the tapes. I want the tapes. I want the tapes. I want the tapes now. And we are back with